Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video, which comes to you from the Tech Hub so we can showcase some of the great new technology that we have here. Today I'm going to talk to you about the strategy, the ongoing strategy that we first developed pre-COVID when we had a consultant called Ewan McIntosh who came in and helped us work on the mission and vision, which were then rewritten, and for that we then derived the strategy. It's an ongoing strategy, it's changing continuously, but I really want to talk about some of the main points of it and make sure that people really understand where we're going. We will come back to it, and all stakeholders will have a chance to help build and change and take strategy forward. So I want to begin with the strategy lines. There are 4 strategy lines, and really they're like provocations. They are there to always encourage anybody in any activity they do in school to think carefully about what they're doing and seeing if they need to change it just to align with the strategy lines. The first strategy line is let's nurture healthy bodies and healthy minds to nourish learning. That is exactly what it says, that whenever you're doing something, we have to think, are we going about this in the way that best supports the health of those people involved? Sometimes that might be something incredibly simple, like if you are going on transport and you could walk, you would choose the walking option because it's healthier. But it also means thinking about food and what you're doing and exercise and getting outside and all those kind of things. So that's if you like, provocation line number 1. Are we always thinking about how we can do things in the healthiest way possible? The second one is let's give opportunities to every one of us to take initiative and showcase our talent. That's about ensuring that each student, wherever they come from, whatever their passion, has the possibility to showcase their talents and their way of being in the way that works for them. And that's really about personalised learning and ensuring that we really are doing everything we can and always thinking about the degree to which we've personalised the situation to make sure that every student has an opportunity. The third strategy line is let's go beyond the walls of the school to learn. And that's just about taking students outside the classroom, because so often the best learning experiences are in other places. We're in London. That means there's opportunities everywhere for really contextualising learning and making it real, whether it means going to some of the amazing museums or just going to all the places there are near and around us. And of course, in particular, it means going to the park and using the park as much as we can, because we know how good it is and how useful it is to learn in natural surroundings. The fourth strategy line is let's collaborate and demonstrate our creativity through making and performing. Now that needs to be understood in a broad sense. So it means that rather than getting students to always do the same kind of short activities, we're looking for ways that they can express themselves in a variety of ways. So in the performing, that might mean doing podcasts or doing videos, but also performing in a more generic sense, getting up and speaking. And in making, it often means that you can have subjects that work with the design department or the art department or the tech hub to look at how they actually have a product at the end of their learning. And a lot of you will have seen examples of that. For example, with the maths department, we've had lots of designed pieces that come out of math lessons that are all around the school. So those are the 4 strategy lines, and their purpose is always to provoke, to make all the members of our community think, if we're doing something, can we change a little bit and think about them in terms of those strategy lines, so that we're making sure that we align what we do with them. Then we have 3 areas of focus, and those are the kind of main areas that we're driving strategy, and I'm going to talk about each of those in turn. The first is our stories and our worth, a school that builds on community experience to model multilingualism and intercultural learning. ISL has always had languages at the heart of its experience, and we, perhaps more than any other school in the world, have developed a home language program that supports your first language wherever you come from. But we have been building and have determined to take it further than that, to make sure that in every situation, whether it's in performance or whether it's in the classroom, where possible, students can have a multilingual experience. And we can look at every opportunity we can to introduce global perspectives into the classroom. And you will see more and more examples of that as we go through the year, and we want to keep building on that because that has always been and will continue to be a driver in the school. The second area of focus is social impact in the real world, making our high quality learning authentic and impactful. That's really about making learning real. Like if you're designing a unit, ensuring that you link it to something that actually has impact in the world. And I can give you a really good example of that from science that I've talked about before. So in science lessons, they would at one point looking at designing new smoke alarms for some schools in Algeria, because smoke alarms were very expensive, difficult to get, and actually they found that there was a lot of excess deaths caused from carbon monoxide. Now that involved a lot of good science. They had to understand the nature of oxygen, the nature of carbon monoxide, the difference, how you identify it, and then looked at how you would design a cheap smoke machine, and that's what they did. Now that's an example of a subject looking at design, the social impact of what it's doing, and making it real. And the fact that you're making the learning real means it's far more impactful and far more meaningful to the students doing it. So that's what that one means. And it really often means working with the design department and looking at how you can bring reality to whatever you're doing in the classroom. The third one is agency and well-being, building identity and community through personalised learning opportunities, challenging dialogue, and a culture of care. Now, what that means is we want every student and actually every member of our community to feel safe and feel that their voice is heard. Because in the end, if you want to have a personalised learning experience, it has to begin with listening carefully to the voice of the students in our school and the teachers in our school, and looking at how they best learn and how they best need to be supported. Now that is determined by really good dialogue, because it means a teacher really has to listen to a student. A parent needs to listen to a teacher, but equally a teacher needs to listen to a parent, and a parent needs to listen to a student, because it's only if we have those very good listening techniques, those very important concrete dialogue situations, that we can ensure that we guarantee the best learning for the student involved, and they feel safe and they feel comfortable and they feel cared for. So that's what that third area is about, and at its heart is what we call student agency, which means students really voicing what they need and how they need it to best support their situation in a way that's supportive but also have dialogue and is also challenging. It's not just about saying a student can do what they want, it's about challenging situations and working out what's going to lead to the best results. So there's a lot of work that happens on that. Now, one of the things that comes out of that third point that we've talked about a little bit this year already is the community charter, and that is really linked to the third area of focus. You're going to be hearing lots about strategy as we go through the year, and there will be points where areas are introduced and we refer back. So I can tell you, for example, at the moment we have a big curriculum review, and that curriculum review touches on different aspects of the strategy, and later on we'll be asking for input from students and parents on that, and you will see that strategy will be the guide. So there's a quick introduction to the school strategy, what we're doing and where we're going. You'll be hearing lots more about it, as I said. Thank you very much.